Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Adina here at Beyond the Veil, and I am grateful to have you guys here. I am popping in to do an update reading that was requested in my comments from one of my subscribers. I previously did a reading on Relisha Rudd. She was an 8-year-old girl in Washington, D.C. who went missing about 9 years ago. Her mother and herself and some siblings of hers were living in a shelter in D.C. And there was a janitor that worked there. Excuse me, you guys, I'm overcoming a little cold. There was a janitor that worked at this shelter in D.C. where Relisha Rudd and her mother and family were staying. The mother became acquainted with this custodian who took a liking to Relisha. He began treating her as if she was one of his grandchildren. He would take her to his house for play dates with his grandchild, swimming in the pool. She had met his wife, and allegedly in March, I believe March 19th, Relisha was reported missing by her school teachers. However, or maybe not missing by her school teachers, she had been reporting missing, but her school teachers had first brought up that she had not been seen since like a month before that in February, and then she wasn't reported missing until March. So there was a lot of controversy around that. She was seen on various cameras at hotels with Tate. I'm sorry, I should have looked up all the people's name involved before I did this reading, and I forgot the gentleman's name who was accused of taking Relisha, who was seen on hotel security footage with her. He was found shot in a park in Washington, D.C. after being wanted by the police for questioning for about 72 hours or something like that. The gunshot wound that he passed away from was said to be self-inflicted. However, and I'm just going to put out this disclaimer that this is all allegedly. Everything that I'm about to say in this video is alleged. None of this is facts that I gathered from my own private investigation with the police department or any tangible evidence from this case. This is all just for entertainment based on my metaphysical opinion. So please take this as just entertainment value. But it is my opinion that this man it was my opinion that based on my last reading and what I saw that this man was involved in trafficking. His position at the shelter was supposed to be for him to be able to find children, to profile children, to traffic and pass them along to some type of crime syndicate that ran out of Washington, D.C. Or the DMV area. He was responsible for transporting these children to the traffickers, and that is what I believe that was the case with Relisha. But based on my previous reading, for some reason he did not want to pass Relisha along. I felt in my last reading that I'm not sure if he had just grown attachments to her, but it was a softer spot that she created in him, and I got the impression that he wanted to save her, that he had already started the process of having her trafficked, but something changed. I like to say that his wife is also dead too, because it was alleged that he shot her in the hotel room that he was seen at with Relisha, and then he went on a run and then shot himself. Based on my metaphysical opinion, I'm not inclined to believe that. I'm inclined to believe that whomever was involved with this trafficking ring, allegedly, when they met in that hotel room to deliver Relisha, I think that something went wrong. I think that they both, one or both, got cold feet. The wife had to go, though. I believe she was a loose end. She had found out about um, this business that her husband was involved in, and she had to go. All the loose ends had to go, which is why her and her husband were found dead. And the disappearance of Relisha has been blamed on the Tate character. However, Relisha has never been found. And it is my belief, based on my last reading, that she never will, because she's long gone. So one of my subscribers asked for an update on this case for me to read, and I almost didn't do it, even though it took me a long time to do these videos. I almost didn't do it because I didn't see that there had been any updates. Not when I looked physically and not when I looked spiritually. I didn't see that there would be any updates. And to be honest, the first time I did this reading, I didn't see that there ever would be. I didn't see that there would ever be a successful conclusion to this case, because the people who could have helped were involved, allegedly. However, I'm going to do an update and then see where this goes. All right. Just give me one moment to get myself in formation. I don't have my Florida water or my bell. Olodumare, Most High, please protect me as I go forth in these endeavors. Use me as the vessel and let me see, hear, feel, and divine clearly. May nothing be kept hidden from me. Blessings to my spiritual team. Blessings to my ancestors. Blessings to my spirits. Blessings to Relisha Rudd. Ashe and amen. All right. What is surrounding the energy of Relisha Rudd? To my knowledge, Relisha's mother is still alive. A few years ago, I had found her Facebook page, and I was like stalking it. And I haven't done that in a while. It's been a few years, but back then, within the past 5 years, she was still alive, working at some government facility in Virginia. What is surrounding the energy of Relisha Rudd? Relisha Rudd. A whole half of my deck fell out. And to be honest, just glancing at those cards, I got a quick glimpse of the fact that I don't believe that Relisha will ever be found. I do believe that she is long gone and has been. I saw a man in there. I saw the Emperor, a powerful man, a man in charge. What is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd, Spirit? What is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd? What is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd currently? What is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd currently? Relisha Rudd, Relisha Rudd, Relisha Rudd, Relisha Rudd, Relisha Rudd, Relisha Rudd. Relisha may possibly still be alive. These are child cards. Lies. There is a lie surrounding what happened to this child. Okay. The story that was told about Relisha Rudd, and you know what? I'm just going to say I was right in my previous reading. First of all, the story that was told about what happened to Relisha Rudd is filled with lies. The story that was told that about what happened to this child was full of lies. And I take this to be the mother. This is her making a really cold and detached, logical decision. There was an opportunity that she was faced with a business opportunity here, to offer something. I get the impression that the mother, and this is all alleged, please, as I said in the previous video that I did on Relisha Rudd, the mother made a detached, cold, executive business decision to give her child to a group of people. To a group of people. Secretly. This is like shadow people. You know, people that she knows, people that she that she's never met. It's like there is a liaison in between Relisha's mother and this group of people she's never seen, she's never met, but she knows that they're there. And she knows that they're doing business with her. I'm going to look into this Seven of Swords card just to see exactly what the lies are regarding the story that was told about what happened to Relisha. The lie is that, well, for one, they don't know what happened to her, because this is someone offering someone a cup. I would like to say that same Ace of Cups that I saw in the bottom of the deck when I saw Relisha's mother making a decision to give her away. I would like to say Relisha's mother was approached with an opportunity, and she didn't take it at first. She contemplated it. She had, I don't know if she had more than one child at the time. I want to say that there were younger siblings with Relisha at the time. This is the mother. Someone asked her for one of her children. They knew she was in a tough spot. We can make it better if you just give us one of your children. And she's contemplating it because she has more than one. All right. There were a lot of messages going in between Relisha's mother and some man. This is the man that I saw when my cards fell out, and I said I saw the Emperor, a man of power. This is him. There were messages being sent in between Relisha's mother and this man, and regarding an opportunity that he had, something he wanted. Give us this and we'll give you this. It's like she didn't even really know these people, but they found her. And then all of a sudden, one day, somebody just came and approached her with this opportunity out of nowhere. All right. I'm going to look into this Emperor. Temperance, middleman. 7 of Wands reverse. King of Swords. All right. There is a middleman, and that middleman was the Tate person that was killed and that was blamed as the patsy. When I look into this powerful Emperor here, the first card out was the Temperance, and Temperance is all about finding the middle path, the middle ground. There was a middleman in between this Emperor and then Relisha's mother. And here we are talking about a cup again. So that this man did not have to be seen, did not have to get involved physically. He had a middleman so that he never actually had to get himself involved, get in trouble, get himself in something that he needed to get his way out of because of his position of power. And that man was the Tate person. He was the one who searched and found and coordinated and sent the messages, which is why he is seen as the King of Swords. I'm not sure if Tate had ever been in jail before or prison, but I see him being approached in jail. If you want to get out, help us. If he wanted to get out of jail, it's like he was railroaded. They needed somebody to help them. They didn't have much to lose, so they approached men in jail who have a record, who seem like they'll be down with this type of thing. Help us. Somebody approached him in jail. And if he was in jail in the DMV, because this is where the political seat of the United States of America is, it's not far-fetched to think that someone in politics or someone involved in a shadow government or shady government, under government, black government, shadow government, business dealings, would go down to the local prison or jailhouse and approach a man who seems to fit the profile with an opportunity. Do you want to get out sooner than you expected? We have a proposition for you. You have a decision to make. Help us. Help us get what we need. Help us get what we need. Help us get what we need. Now I'm going to look into this King of Swords because I believe that this is Mr. Tate. He didn't necessarily like it. He didn't necessarily like what he was doing. However, it was a good opportunity. It got him out of jail. It got money in his pockets. He didn't like it. He didn't want to do it. But he did it because of the benefits for him. Emperor in reverse. This is him showcasing himself as one thing but being another one. Showcasing himself as a janitor but really working undercover to procure children for someone. This is another janitor This is him working at the shelter with children and families as a janitor. But that's not really what his purpose there was for. His purpose there was to search, find, look, keep an eye out on things. Look, search. For someone defenseless, somebody who is not afraid, desperate. This is desperate. Looking for someone desperate enough to do anything, including the ultimate thing. Again, he was approached in jail. You want to get out? Help us. We need you to find women who don't mind giving their children away. No love. Giving their children away. We don't. Broken homes. Finding them in broken homes. And he found Relisha's mother was with it. I don't think it took her long to contemplate about it. I don't think it took her long at all. I want to look at these messages that were being sent in between this man of power and Relisha's mother. We can make it so that no one suspects you for anything. We can make it so that even if they investigate, nothing will come up of it. Because none of us can afford to be involved in this. This is her being approached with that opportunity and her mulling it over as the messages are being sent to her steadily. Hey, have you thought about it? Hey, da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, da-da-da-da-da-da. Are you doing it? And then this is them saying, listen, nothing will come of this. You will never get caught for this. You'll never go to jail. This will be successful. We won't be caught. Those were the things that they were saying to her. Do it this one time and you'll never have to hear from us again. You'll never have to do this again. Just this one time. You'll never have to hear from us again, speak to us again. I want to look at this chariot, the success of whatever this transaction was. At night, hidden. We'll take her at night. And then everything was supposed to be going well, according to plan. But Tate didn't want to do it. He got cold feet. Like I said, the plan was for him to take her that night. That night he took her to the hotel and they saw them on the hotel cameras. There were other people there that night in that room that he met with that are never mentioned by name in any of the official investigations. He was supposed to meet those gentlemen at the hotel that night and hand her over, according to plan, because this has been done before. Tate got cold feet. He didn't want to do it. He felt a way about this child. And he didn't like how the mother was just so willing to give her away. He had grown attachments. Him, his wife, they had her around their family, around their granddaughter. He had grown attachments to Relisha, and he didn't want to give her away anymore. He wanted to save her. I want to say that he could have possibly called his wife up to the room to get her, to try to give her to the wife and get her away before the man got there. We'll see though. Let's look at this cold feet. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it anymore. And this is why he was killed. A choice. He was killed because of his decision to not do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And he felt bad. He had started to feel bad. Here's this group of men. See, his plan was to take Relisha to a small trip. They traveled a few miles to that hotel to meet the plans to meet with this secret group of men. That was the plan. He grew attached and couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Now I also want to look at this Four of Cups, because this is the mother again. That was her when they approached her with the opportunity and she's mulling it over. She made a decision quickly to move forward with it. Because she had a lot of responsibilities and a lot of burdens, and she was living in a shelter. She had kids to look after. She had herself. She was overwhelmed with responsibility. Overwhelmed with responsibility and broke. Not able to survive, not able to take care of herself or her other children. So she went with it because she had a lot of burdens on her, a lot of responsibilities, and she wasn't able to take care of them all. So this is what she was considering in a decision, but she made a decision to go with it quickly. Here again, I said she made the decision to go with it quickly. She took the leap. She decided to do it. Take that opportunity and give her daughter away. To those hidden group of people, that hidden group of men. She thought that they could possibly kill my baby too. But there is some emotional and maternal disconnect from both her and her father. I don't know where her biological father was, but it's almost like nobody really cared for her the right way, which is why this decision was so easy. Another, uncared for. The children involved were not, obviously not cared for if any mother could do this. And this is just so free-spirited. It's almost just like she was happy to do it. Like, yes, one less thing off my plate and I get money. She just didn't care. And I think that's why Tate was feeling a way about it, because he cared. He had begun to care for Relisha. This is a mother who gave her child away for money. Again, Tate did not want to do it. All right. I want to ask about that group of men, that group of people, the secret shadow group. These are the people that are really running the show. They're the ones running the show behind the scenes. This is their empire. This is their enterprise. This is their business. What just flew out? Let's see. They take impoverished families. They prey on impoverished families. If you are in Washington, D.C. or in the DMV area, while this is all alleged in entertainment and based on my metaphysical opinion, if you are in the DC area and you have wondered about all of the missing women and children in that area or in the U.S. specifically, this is why. And I don't know why, but in many of my readings, when I do cold case readings or missing persons readings, I pick up on this. I don't know why my spirits are so alert to human trafficking. But since my first few readings, since I first started doing readings for the dead, this is what I always sniff out. And it seems like I always get drawn to the readings where there is an element of human or child trafficking involved. Abuse of humans, women, or children. They prey on the impoverished, the shelters, the homeless areas. They look for single women with children. They have nothing. Most of the time, the guardian is involved, especially when the child never is found. Ever. Most of the time, the guardian is involved. This is just what came out, though, when I was trying to shuffle and flip. And I wanted to look into the secret group. Spirits, speak to me about that secret group that Tate did not want to deliver Relisha to, that Relisha's mother had been communicating with secretly through Tate. Tell me about that secret group. Who are they and what do they do? Spirit, Relisha, speak to me about that secret group who arranged for the kidnapping of Relisha. This is another card that I get that I've got before, and I interpret this as the secret business dealings card. Business dealings that are done under the table. Coins that are achieved because of business that is done and built under the table. This group of men, this group of people is involved for a shadow business. The business of human trafficking. Tate was recruited as a patsy. Sorry, let me get a sip of my coffee. This is a cup my mom got custom made for me for my birthday last year from a relative of ours who made the cup. It says Adina. I don't have an attitude. I've got a personality you can't handle. Anyways, remember how I said that when I found that Emperor card and I looked into him And then I saw that he was like the mastermind behind it, but he can't bother to be involved. He can't get himself involved with the actual day-to-day activities because he can't get caught up into it. So I was asking about that secret group, and they run this under the table shadow business, but they use Tate as the patsy because these people can't be involved. They can't have their names, their faces attached to this business. So they approach men in prison, offer them opportunities when they're desperate. And in return, those men go work in places where they can pray. School janitors, shelter janitors, hospital janitors, things like that. Uh, CPS, Child Protective Service workers, places like that where they'll have access to impoverished women and children. And for those that they feel like might be able to be propositioned, they proposition them. It's easier to offer someone a little bit of money for their silence and cooperation than it is to just take them and then have to kill multiple people or hush multiple people because they want to speak out when their loved one goes missing. So it's easier when the guardian cooperates, and this is what Tate was. And it's also easier for them to find other people to do it because when shit hits the fan, that person that they get to be the patsy will be the patsy. So not only did Tate do all the dirty work for them, but when it came down to it, when Relisha's teachers got involved, because if the teachers hadn't started making a big deal out of it, nobody in Relisha's family probably would have said anything. But when things go wrong like that, somebody has to be the patsy, and that's what Tate was. He didn't want to do it anymore. He was done with it. All right. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm wearing a wig. It's hot. I'm about to snatch it off. I'm about to snatch off all my clothes. I told myself today that I was going to dress really, really light because it's hot. I'm in Florida. It's 92 degrees. It's 92 degrees even at like 6, 7 o'clock at night when the sun goes down. It is hot. I would like to be naked, but I am with my colleague today. We have business and work to do, so I had to put on clothes, but I'm hot. So it's fine. All right, so about what happened that night. It's all on the bottom of the deck. And we're still talking about that group of men. All right. The bottom of the deck always gives me the tea. The top of the deck will answer my question, but the bottom of the deck will always give me details. So, all right. They were definitely supposed to meet those group of men at the hotel that night. Tate was supposed to take Relisha. This is him supposed to take Relisha to the hotel. His wife came to the hotel. See, I like to believe that he called her. So he called her, sent the message. About something, but he lied because he didn't want them to kill her or something like that. So he didn't go to where he was supposed to take her because he didn't want that to happen to her. He liked her. And he didn't want to take her back to the shelter because her mother would know something didn't go according to plan. Her mother or his wife, anyways, didn't take her where they were supposed to, didn't do what he was supposed to do according to their agreement for them letting him out of jail when they met him secretly, when he secretly met with the boss man in jail. He knew who the man was. That's it. Tate knew who the boss man was. They met secretly when he got out of jail. He could identify the boss man. That's why he had to go. The other people didn't matter because they followed orders. But something at the hotel didn't go according to plan that night. The transaction wasn't made, money was lost. And then this is where the disagreement happened inside the hotel room that night. Okay. All right. It's a little bit fuzzy, but let me see. Let's see what else comes out. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. Why not? Scouting. Okay. He used to do it. He didn't mind doing it. He didn't mind doing it in the past. He didn't mind doing the scouting and stuff in the past, but something about Relisha, he met her and she hit a soft spot with him. He was tired of doing it. He didn't want to do it anymore for some reason with Relisha. He didn't mind doing it in the past though. The son, people, following orders. When he met those people, he followed orders. But this time, the deal didn't go right because money was lost because Relisha wasn't delivered in time, or all right, I just got something, but everybody involved that night had to die. 3 people died that night, or in this grand scheme. Tate's wife, and Relisha. They had to go. It got messy once Tate got cold feet and they start having to clean up his mess. Something happened with Relisha where she could no longer be delivered, and the money that was paid for her was lost. The money that was to be made from her was lost. So everybody involved had to go to clean up the mess. I see the beef with the grandmother and the mother underneath the deck just briefly. Let me see. Hold on. Knew too much. He had to go because he knew too much. Tate felt bad when he first met Relisha. He felt bad. He felt bad for the child. He decided to sabotage the transaction. And that decision killed him. He felt bad for Relisha as soon as he met her because he knew that the long-term goal was to get close to her so that she can be given away. That was his real purpose. Wow. All right, you guys. I don't know where else, because this video could be really, really, really long. If I follow down this rabbit hole, it's so much involved. I see government officials involved. I see secret meetings with people in jail and prison. Recruiting prisoners to do things for members of a shadow government, allegedly. This is so real. This is so real that I'm almost overwhelmed, because this isn't a storybook I'm reading. And even though this is for entertainment purposes, seeing things like this and knowing that it's real is always a big mind F-U-C-K for me. Always. I'm never not surprised. Sometimes I'm surprised. I mean, sometimes I'm not surprised, but like just seeing it so clearly from the spirits who have no reason to lie, it hits different. You can never be the same once you've seen some of the things that I've seen. You can never walk this earth, look at people, look at life the same. How do I want to close this? I keep wanting to look into Relisha's mother again, so here we go with her. What is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd's mother? Can't remember her name. Sorry. What is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd's mother? It's so hot, y'all. I'm sorry. I look ugly. I look sweaty. My hair needs to be done. I'm going to throw some braids in there next week. Um, it's just so hot. It's just so freaking hot. My curls won't even stay curled. Look at this. Look at this. And then this is supposed to be curled under, but I had a scarf on, so now it just flips out. Look at that. This summertime cold just came through. It hit my mom twice, my friend, her kids, everybody. Me, I'm just just overcoming it. So excuse my cough. All right, what is the energy surrounding? All right, 1 second, you guys. I gotta turn this fan this way. I'm dying. 1 second. It's still not facing me all the way, but it's just a little bit better. Okay. All right. Ooh, we live to read another day. So I was about to die. I'm asking what is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd's mother, and just as I was about to cut to shuffle, I got this. She puts it off in her mind as if it never happened. That's how she's able. Injustice, all these swords, injustice. She puts it off in the back of her mind as if it never happened. In her mind, she'll think about it from time to time, but it's as if it just never happened. She's able to disassociate like that. She came up as the Queen of Queen of Swords earlier when she was making the decision to do it. Very cold and detached. Very cold and detached woman. The way she's able to hide her emotions behind her logical mind in order to not feel things. What is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd's mother currently? What is the energy surrounding Relisha Rudd's mother currently? Here she is. I can't make this up, you guys. Wasn't I just talking about her being the Queen of Swords? Very cold, very detached, very able to cut off her maternal instincts in order to make logical decisions. Very cold and detached woman. Very calculating. Smart, though. Smart. As soon as she got those messages, again, I don't feel like it took her a lot. I don't think that it took her a lot I'm going to look into this Queen of Swords before I say anything. I think this is them at the shelter, maybe. Amen. Sleep. She saw Tate always hanging around them, always coming around, watching. When it was time for everyone to go to bed at nighttime. I want to say he worked there at night. Maybe not, but hmm. Hmm. All right. Allegedly, this shelter is used for trafficking. This shelter is used for trafficking. This shelter allegedly is known and used for trafficking. They're not really helping families. That's what I see here. They look for mothers, single mothers with children, and not a lot of supportive family. Kids. They're looking for kids. I'm sorry, you guys. They take children for money. I see that Relisha's mom found out that the shelter is a front for this business. I don't even know if the shelter is still in business, but I'm sorry, one moment. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had to choke a little bit off film. But what I was saying was, I don't know if that shelter is still up and running today. However, I do know that the business that was being run out of the shelter is no longer no longer being run there once the story came out about Relisha, because it drew too much attention to the shelter. So they had to take their money-making operation elsewhere. The exposure blew the lid off of the tower, and they had to pick up and move. This is still the mother speaking. Multiple women have done it. Multiple mothers in that shelter have sold their children. Relisha's mother feels like, I'm not the only one. Look, multiple women. And I am still reading Relisha's mother. Multiple women have done it. I am not the only one. This is her looking at all the other women with her sword, defending herself. I am not the only one. A lot of women at that shelter do that, have done that. And when I was saying that they had to leave with this Herman in reverse, couldn't do it there anymore. It'd be stupid and foolish to continue that operation after it had been exposed. They can no longer make money there. So the operation had to move somewhere else. Now I'm looking into the exposure, because I was saying that the case brought a lot of exposure and they could no longer operate out of that shelter. People were starting to take notice and look. It brought attention that nobody wanted to be discussed or talked about. They just wanted people to move on. That's why Tatum had to go, and that's why he took the fall when he was not as responsible as he was made to be in the media. He had to take the fall so that the world would just move on. They had to kill the conversation around their operation at this shelter, but they also had to kill it. It was very successful, though. They needed people to move on. Let's see. Because of the bad things that were done there, it would have been a judgment moment, a bad judge. The world would have judged. Everyone would have been judging. It would have been a cancel culture moment. So they needed people to be distracted from their operation, from what was really going on. Sorry, guys. Couldn't have people gossiping and talking about it. Because this powerful person here couldn't have anything to do with it. Can't be seen, can't be involved with it. I want to know who that is in this business and how they make their money. Again, secret dealings at this shelter. After that Relisha situation, they went and cleaned house at that shelter. Everything was shut down. This emperor, cause see, I wanna know who the fuck this is. He'd be destroyed. This would be the ending of him. Charges, prison, you name it. You name it, it would go down. This person lost money for having to shut down the business at the shelter. Because Ted got cold feet, didn't want to help them anymore, no longer wanted to help them in their shadow group anymore. Whoever else they had working there, because I believe they had more than one person as a liaison. After all of that stuff with Relisha went down and Tate, they told their other liaisons to shut down operations and come back. Either come back or get out of there. Or go back to your regular scheduled programs. We're not doing it anymore. We're not taking anybody else. We're not offering anybody else any more opportunities here. So they told everybody the operation is shut down. Because they didn't want there to be an investigation opened up about the shelter's business partners. Who keeps that shelter open and running and able to be a shelter? Who was the financial backer of that shelter? Because they don't charge people to be there. The bills have to get paid there. Supplies that they give to people that come to the shelters have to be purchased. Food that they feed the people with have to be purchased. Who was a business partner or a financial backer into that shelter? If we find that, we'll have a clue, allegedly, into who was involved in using this shelter as a front. All right, this has gone on for a long time. I think Tate's wife found out what he was involved in. I don't think that she knew, but she found out. She had to go before she can go to authorities or anything like that and tell about what was really going on and who was involved. She found out that that's how her husband got out of jail, for helping these people. She was suspicious. Suspicious of the children, suspicious of Relisha, suspicious of his activities, his sneaking around, his silent phone calls, things like that. She was suspicious. All right. And in closing, thank you to my subscriber who asked me to do this. I'm actually glad that I revisited this case. I have gone through a series of cleanses and spiritual baths, initiations, rituals, you name it. I am like a super Saiyan now. So doing this reading over, since the first time I did it with stronger senses, is a lot more informative. It's a lot more fun because I can see a lot more details more clearly this time around. I'm a lot more assured of what I see than I was before. I was still nervous about myself. Anyways. Is Relisha Rudd still alive? I asked this question in my first reading. I got a no. But let's see. Is Relisha Rudd still alive? Is Relisha Rudd still alive? If I'm saying her name wrong, if it's Relisha Rudd, please forgive me. But I hear Relisha. Is Relisha Rudd still alive? Six of Wands. Relisha was successfully passed on to others. The handoff went complete. The handoff went complete. Queen of Swords reverse. Page of Pentacles reverse. I got the authorities knew a long time ago what happened to her, what really happened at that shelter. But because of who's involved, they can't say. She was taken. But she's the reason why yeah, they took her. They took her that night at the hotel, even though they killed Tate's wife and killed Tate. They took her. They were successful. I'm just wrapping up, but you don't have to be quiet. But I found out she was never at the water or by the water like they said. I would like to believe, hold on. No, Relisha was not killed by Tate. She was handed off, like I said, and he was killed to be silenced. But I'm just going to say that Relisha was sold. I would like to say that Relisha was transported across a body of water and sold or traded. Sold or traded, given away for, sold or traded, given away for something else. But Relisha was sent overseas somewhere. Tate was killed. Because of the business dealings. If he hadn't been killed and arrested and prosecuted, the operation would have been in trouble. He had to be killed. They would question how he got out of jail. Who helped him. Who he was working for at the shelter, working with and working for. He would have said things that they would regret. They had to kill him to keep their interests hidden. About taking children against their will for money. I will do a part 2 to, I say this all the time, but that would be a 2-hour video. And I just don't know when I have the time or the energy for it. But after I finish my cleanse that I'm on now, my cleansing bath, a 9-day cleansing bath that I'm doing, then I might have the energy for it. So with that being said, this is my update on Relisha Rudd that was requested by one of my subscribers. I hope that this answered whatever questions you may have, and please, all of you, feel free to comment with your requests. I don't mind doing requests. I'm always looking for something else to read on. And I hate saying this because I sound like a real YouTuber and I don't want to become that girl, but please like, comment, and subscribe, because the more of you who watch and participate, the more I am motivated to do these things publicly. Otherwise, I'll just read them to myself and to my friends, and we'll kiki over them when they happen. So, with that being said, thanks for joining me. Prayers and blessings for the spirit and energy of Relisha Rudd and all of you joining me here today. Have a cool, well hydrated, well AC'd Monday. Bye.